Welcome to another day of Aether Raids. We're taking on Foot Lover here for our first match, and we're going to go in with the brand new unit here. We're going in with Ira, the brand new Ira here, and this is pretty much the perfect map for us to test out this this team, just to see how it performs. I really just threw it together last minute, so I don't really know if it's good, but I feel like there is enough pieces here to function properly, primarily in Golveg, who is pretty much the one who's gonna just kill everyone. So yeah, let's see how this works with the potent follow-up, and I feel like this is the best way to start off the week. I was actually contemplating playing tomorrow, but as it may have it, this is the first match on the first day, so not a bad matchup at all. Pretty much perfect for what we want to do. There's no obstacles really in the way that will slow us down aside from the traps, and we get to take on this Nagi here with Shield Fighter. The downside is that she doesn't have distant counter, which you really probably want on Nagi to be able to counterattack. That's the one downside for OG Nagi, as opposed to her Halloween, was it? I don't remember. I think it was Halloween version. In that the Halloween version has distant counter. This is an interesting investment in that Lilina there. Quite peculiar. Agreed. Bringing that Lilina to +10. It's not a very good unit. I probably would have gone with Sonya, but if we like what we like, and also Binding Blades doesn't have the largest catalog of good units. Three of them are Lilina, so not a lot to choose from in that regard, but I'm pretty sure that we can get the KO here on this Nagi, especially since she's not counterattacking. Just gotta set it up so that I can get all the way up there and take on the units. Also, I want to make sure that I end up on one of the traps when I initiate, so that I have a space to attack from with Golveg. I kind of already have it mapped out in my head exactly what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I'm just trying to set it up so that I can get it to work. Rune support is fantastic with Brigid here because stats, and then Iris support is fantastic with Brigid as well. Because extra attack, which she'll get I think the 40% from, since she's making a follow-up. Yeah, so it's 40% from the potent follow-up hit, and it should still be a pretty big hit because typically Brigid is doing anywhere from 70 to 99 damage consistently, so not too worried about her damage output, especially when it's not against like a red unit, a red far save. For Mortis in particular. For Mortis is still, I think people have slept on how good Christmas for Mortis is. Probably because Hector was there already and it was easier to work with him since he was on the Tune unit. But Christmas for Mortis is really the best, well actually second best far save. Is he better than Neathhawker? I don't know. Somewhere in that tier there is Christmas for Mortis. He's right up there with the Neathhawkers. He's very, very good. And I'd probably put Hector in a tier below. The only upside to Hector is that since he's not, running Shield Fighter, you get that he's not locked into just far save. He can take on some melee matchups as well. But in all honesty, for Mortis is just that guy. He's really, really good. Not a lot of things take him out. Brigid included, Bernadetta included. Yeah, he's really just tough to kill. I think really you want to go with armor effective damage into Shield Fighter for Mortis to have a chance. Either that or Deadeye. Deadeye typically gets the job done, but you have to hit it on the final attack, the fourth hit, or the potent follow-up hit to get through the Shield Fighter. But let's see how this one goes.
Agreed.
Okay, and then we're gonna just do the swap thing in the jig. Again, Detect is just so good. Ninja Lucina is just so good because that's more stats and stat swings plus 10 true damage on the opponent there, and all of that just adds on to Brigid's damage. She really wants to dance here, to, just cleanse any potential penalties, but should still be enough once I pop the swap. Do I do it here, or do I do it on... Maybe we're going to go on Rune instead, because I see a potential move with a dance here. Now, as it relates to the Mythic and Legendary banner that we just got, obviously I pulled as soon as the banner came out. You're seeing they're not being covered by far save, but that's a trap gamble, and I'm not sure if that's real or not. So let's leave that for later. But yeah, pulled on the Legendary Mythic banner. And let's start off by talking about let's talk about Athos to begin with. I gotta say, man, very disappointing. Starting off with the summoning circle mechanic, just not doing what you would have wanted it to do, which is pretty much like an ambush mechanic where the unit just pops out and attacks right away. It doesn't function in that way, and therefore is pretty much just useless. Aside from giving you an additional unit that you have to calc for or organize around when you're building your defense, it's pretty much just going to pop out an extra unit in a spot that you probably don't even want them to be in, which is super annoying for a defense because that messes up your entire offensive threat range. When your defense is low block or high block, I mean, there's probably like ways that you can build around it with making sure that you have specific units to cover similar ranges, but it is not the easiest thing in the world. But then also, it's highly unlikely that the opponent is going to make it to turn 3 without initiating, so there's also that to consider. But it's just not great. Not what we wanted. Don't know why they made it the worst version possible. Oh geez, we get cancel controlled. That's not actually good because I actually wanted Goldvig to initiate from that spot. So that's not great. Did not see that. Probably should have taken out not first. Okay. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna just work with it. We're gonna gamble. Nice, okay.
Don't rush in.
I was thinking that this one has to be fake because Not is the only unit that has that wasn't covered by far save. Even though we get cancel controlled here, knowing that that trap is 100% real gives me a little bit more room to work with, and it also gives me the ability to dance rearm Lucina, Ninja Lucina here, and then it eventually get the duo ability on track. So that's what my plan is. Alright, so it seems that this is going to take a little bit more improvisation than I had initially planned, but I think we can still get away with it, even though counter control is actually making this a lot more difficult than I had initially anticipated. I think we can probably still work around it. Now, the next problem here is which one of these gravity traps is real. Normally what I'd do is that I would cancel onto it, and then with the dual ability I'd be able to move around a little bit more freely afterwards, but that doesn't seem to be the case here, and I can't warp in because the spaces are just blocked by a unit, so Goldvig is just going to have to count on her regular movement, and that's not great because it means that I don't get to leave Embla for last, and that was actually the plan.
Tracking Tiger Tackle!
Like, just looking at it right now, I don't see how I could get up there and leave Embla for... Really what I would need is like Smite or something, but I don't have that here. And that would have been an additional action wasted, but yeah, it's not looking possible, so we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to figure out a way to... I don't know, it's looking like I might have to leave Felix alive, and that's not a great idea, because Felix is Felix, and then also Sigurd can move a little bit too far for my comfort, so... What are the choices here? I think I might have to give up on one of the pots. Like, just planning ahead here, that looks like the play that's gonna happen. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, yeah, let's see how that works out. Because I don't really see a way around it currently, but let's just keep playing and see what happens. Now, so yeah, I was talking about Athos and how terrible that extra mechanic is, the summoning circle is, and also it's kind of weird that Athos was the choice to introduce that mechanic to defense for Anima season. I guess Dark season would have been questionable as well. Really, I was hoping for Sombron because it just made sense with, what Sombron does, but then also Sombron could do something with the emblems, so, there's that as well. But yeah, it's kind of, I thought they'd probably theme it a little bit more around the mythic. I can't really think of anything that Athos has to do with summoning in specific against maybe dragons a little bit, but that's more of a Nurgle thing. Yeah, not really sure how it fits into his character story, but I mean, here he is. And like I was saying, the summoning circle is just the worst, the pits, because it's basically a unit pops up and the opponent can just basically just snipe that unit on their own player phase without any trouble at all, unless it's, like originally what I wanted to do was put the summoning circle into the where the enemy team spawn in, so that you could have a pop-out surprise mechanic. Felix, of course, or maybe even Sigurd, who knows, but that was the original idea, but it's just not going to happen now, since it just doesn't work that way. I don't know if it's that IS couldn't figure out how to get it to work, or this is just the idea that they've just considered to be the best option for, complexity, not making ether rates too hard, too toxic, and making it more appealing for casuals, and still keeping it competitive. But like from a person that's really into ether rates, it doesn't really do anything for the higher tier players. We're gonna gamble a trap here and see if it works out. Nice. Okay, that's actually perfect. Yeah. So the circle doesn't do anything for the top tier players. It just gives you an extra unit, and a lot of the times you probably don't even want that extra unit. So I don't know if Athos is going to stick around. I'm going to test a little bit more with him just to see how it works exactly, and figure out what I want to do. I don't know if I'm even going to bother running him as a mythic for his bonus season, but we'll see how it pans out. We're going to play one more match. Hold on. Okay, so we got Pepe this time, and this is actually not the greatest matchup for me. It's a really interesting layout, a lot of barricade, which means that you can't warp into something like this, which is really what I was planning to do. I was going to, set it up so that I could warp in and, snipe whoever I could snipe, primarily Neathauger, but yeah, all of my other teams require some amount of warp action, and then the only other team that I have that would have been able to handle this from a melee standpoint is Brave Attuned Erica, but unfortunately I didn't re-bless Saline on that team, so the blessing, the score would not have been ideal to go into the match with that team. So we're gonna have to use this one. And I'm also noticing here that I don't have my safety fence.
What now?
Which is not a good thing. That pretty much means that I am going to have to play this out and not make any mistakes. It's a
Agreed.
yeah, I did not notice that. I should probably fix that. This is going to come down to whether or not this trap is real. So this is a big gamble. If the trap is fake, I think we're going to have to sack a unit. If the trap is real, I think I might have to sack a unit. I don't think I have a way around it if the trap is real. But if it's fake, it's pretty much GG's. Easy win from there. I mean, I think I can make it work if the trap is real, because it would really just be down to someone tanking a hit. But really, we have to get rid of Emblem Celica, and then someone would tank a hit from Freyr. I don't know who. We'd have no follow-up, but it might be too much to survive. So let's see how it works out. We're gonna go in, take out Neathauger, which I'm not surprised that we do, because again, Brigid would bonus. It's just an extra 4 attack and some speed on top of it, but she was already taking out Neathauger, and then Neathauger is no longer bonus, so it's a little bit easier for us to get through. Yeah, this is exactly what Brigid was actually built to do, and that's kind of why I wanted to pair her with what's her face, Ira, the legendary Ira, to get that extra follow-up hit to make her a little bit more similar to Lyn, but actually in a lot of ways better because of the miracle effect that's built into her weapon. I feel like Brigid just hits harder in general. I feel like and she also has a lot more options in terms of special manipulation.
Even with my stained hands.
Astro Storm is good, but there are certain situations where you might even want to run a Moonbow or a Deadeye, and Brigid has that flexibility. So yeah, I just think overall Brigid is the better unit. Not taking anything away from Emblem Lyn though. Emblem Lyn, she is still very, very powerful. But this is working out in her favor. I'm trying to figure out what to do here, because I still need to get rid of Celica. And I have a couple of options to do that. So we're going to get rid of Celica and then coast from there. Just hit and run and then get the pots. And then that should be GG's. Now, do I have anything else to say about Athos? I think I pretty much covered the main things that I had in mind. The summoning circle being bad. Athos as a unit himself is fairly decent. A lot of shades of Arvel when he first came out, but better. Well, at least I guess Arvel could potentially double. Athos is just not hitting twice unless he has like specific support to do so. But yeah, he hits really, really hard. Which is exactly what you want for a ranged nuke on defense. You wish Golveg was able to do something similar in terms of damage output, but she really just dies in one hit. Whereas Athos is actually fairly, really, really tanky, to my surprise. Yeah, he tanks fairly well for a blue mage. He tanks really well. He has the defensive bolt to survive, and that's really good. For someone that doesn't double. I did see a ton of testing on Oblivion stream. He did test against Hector, and he was able to win that matchup with Athos, which is pretty cool. But I feel like Hector just is slowly kind of falling off. He is older than you realize. He actually, in the current crop of save tanks, he's the oldest one. Fjorm is still there, but Hector is actually, I feel like, slowly falling. It might be time to start to focus shield fighter builds on your Hector. I think that's probably where you're going to be ending up in the long run, to help Hector survive. But yeah, Athos, fairly decent nuke. If you want to run him on your defense, you know, he's not like unusable when it comes to blowing stuff up. I think that there are, though, going to be just better options in terms of coverage overall. So you probably don't want to depend on him too much in that regard. What I do like about him is he's given, you know, some shades of Seth. I think the only stat that he doesn't give support on to your allies is speed, which is unfortunate because that's really the one that I would have wanted. But he does give, you know, a good amount of attack, defense, and res to the supporting team, and that really does help out, like, you know, your save tanks and your nukes to some extent. So I feel like that there's some usability there, especially when partner with a nuke that has like effective damage or something, or with a save tank that's particularly bulky like Mayfogger. I do think there's some use cases for him on defense. I really like that they gave him that support aspect, especially the special jump as well. And another thing that he just does that's really good. But overall,
I will try.
I'm not going to miss him when his bonus season is over, and I don't think I'll put a lot of effort into running him once his bonus season is over. I've just not been excited by what the summoning circle actually does, and that was the one thing that I was really just hoping that would be good. But I was just left like really disappointed by that. I don't know, maybe I'll get it to work out in a way where, you know, having the extra unit is a benefit to me, but currently, you know, no one's really waiting until turn 3 to initiate. Most of the time they're just going to be hitting and running or sniping you from the back row, taking out, you know, wherever they can, and then that extra unit, the 8th unit, is just going to be free pickings. So yeah, offense is still like heavily favored when it comes to defense building, and that kind of sucks, but that's just what it is.
Don't be seen.
Ira, I think of the 2 units that got released, Ira is definitely the better one in what do I want to say? At offense, defense, support. All 3 of those things, I think Ira is better than Athos, and I'm not like yanking her chain or anything, but I do just think that what she provides is exactly what we need in the game currently. I was saying that we needed some way to like get that extra hit, and they've given us triangle attack, ease of access with Marissa, and now they've given us potent support with this Ira, who is not a bad unit. You can fit her on defense. You can probably swap out her B skill for Bulwark. If you don't want her to necessarily, the B skill gives her a ton of true damage and extra speed, but if you just want her to survive and have as much flat damage reduction as possible, you know, there are options in that regards as well. So I do see like a space for her if you want to put her on defense. That's not a bad idea. I think that's a good look as well. And then her support is just fantastic. Even though you don't get the 100% potent effect on the 3rd hit, just being able to get that 3rd hit overall on units like Brigid or no one comes to mind immediately. Maybe you could probably say Petra, who has that beast effective damage, legendary Micaiah, all of the Micaiahs really, being able to get that extra hit. Anyone that can survive a counterattack, plus, you know, wind sweep, anyone that has wind sweep, desperation, anything like that, will really be able to benefit from getting that extra hit in, because 3 hits are better than 2 pretty much all of the time. So yeah, wonderful support to have. And then Ira herself is a fantastic melee nuke. She KOs pretty much everything. She's like Legendary Nana was when Legendary Nana just came out, but I want to say a bit better. Probably won't age that great because speed creep, but she is always going to be able to have a ton of damage output, and that's exactly what you need from a unit like Ira. Makes me feel kind of bad for OG Ira because
What about you?
I don't know what to do with her at this point. Maybe I would love to be able to plus 10 this Ira to replace the OG one. But, you know, we see how it goes. Summoning is always such a pain, and I did spend like a ton of orbs, well, 300 or 400 orbs, and didn't really get, you know, a lot of what I wanted, but, you know, we got what we needed, and we, you know, got out, thankfully. But yeah, man, I'm gonna enjoy playing with the new units for a while. GG's, see you in the next one.